All right, ladies. So if you would like, starting with Afia, can you just let us, introduce yourself, and then we'll get started with the show. Everyone would just introduce yourselves, like, say where you're located, your age, things like that. So I'll start with Afia.
My name is Afia. Hello. I'm a Brooklyn native. I'm 35 years old. I do a little bit of everything, bit of a nonconformist. I'm very much into sustainability, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. All right, Care.
Everyone, I'm Care. I'm 20. I live in Los Angeles now, but I'm from North Carolina. I teach dance. I'm a freelance creative, so I play guitar. I'm just a creative director. I love doing everything, dipping into everything. So it's me.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Charlene.
Hello, everyone. My name is Charlene Carla Rogers. I am 50 years old and originally from Southern California, but I live in Jacksonville, Florida now. I'm an author, editor, and speaker, and trying to get back into acting and modeling.
Awesome. Welcome. Jasmine.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm 36. I'm originally from the Bay Area, but I'm living in Riverside now. I've been, over the past year, starting my acting career, transitioning from a more corporate job. It's been a fun ride thus far. Interesting ride, came in during the strike, but here I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome. And Tracy.
Hey everybody, I'm Tracy Janelle, and I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I lived in Vegas for a long time, and now I've been in the Atlanta area for almost 9 years next month. And I own a small natural bake shop with my sister, and I also work for the tourism board for my county, Henry County, which is a little bit south of Atlanta. And I'm also trying to get into a little modeling and fun stuff as well. Just a little dibble dabble.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Hello, ladies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Let's dive into these topics. Since 2019, over 1,000 African Americans have moved to Ghana.
Charles Kaiser first arrived in Ghana in 2016 while serving in the U.S. Diplomatic Corps. 3 years later, she relocated to the West African country with her then 4-year-old daughter.
I came because I realized just the enormous opportunity there is, especially for Black Americans, in terms of entrepreneurship and building businesses in Ghana, and because I just thought it would be an awesome place for my daughter to grow up.
Kaiser was joined by her family in 2020 and launched businesses soon after. She has seen an influx of African Americans moving to Ghana and wants it to continue.
So there's so many women, especially so many Black women, who want to visit Ghana. But the first question they have is it safe? Yes, it's safe. So I wanted to provide a safe and soft landing pad for Black women wanting to experience Ghana and wanting to network and meet new people.
Kaiser's social enterprise, Serenity House Ghana, provides accommodation, counseling, and workspaces for solo women travelers looking for spaces to rest, work, and learn. A patron of the facility is wellness practitioner Simone Hardy from Chicago. She is looking to relocate to Ghana in June to launch her online business. She says she wanted to get away from America's gun violence.
There's mass shootings. I know people personally who have been in mass shootings. It's not a safe place, and especially for us as African Americans, we don't feel safe. So we are also searching for that void. And the peace, the serenity that you will find in Ghana, it's not something that you're going to experience in the US.
While official numbers have not been provided, diaspora groups say thousands of Americans have immigrated to the country in recent years. The Diaspora Affairs Office says newcomers have ventured into a wide range of business fields, including technology, real estate, transportation, and entertainment. The Ghanaian government says it is providing incentives for immigrants to live and invest in the West African country.
Give them the same opportunities in terms of access to land, in terms of opportunities to do business, everything. Give them that citizenship that will enable them to know that they are also Ghanaians.
In a region troubled by coups, Ghana
Joy. Now, Joy is one of my favorites. It smells so yummy, so fruity, so good. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I love this scent, guys. I love Joy. I love this scent so much. Go ahead and get you some because I'm personally obsessed.
Has been an oasis of stability, holding elections every 4 years with smooth transfer of power. Ghana's government says it hopes an influx of African American immigrants will boost the country's economic vitality. She says she hopes more black women like herself will respond to Ghana's appeal. Senna Anutot for VOA News, Accra, Ghana.
I'll start with Afia. Afia, have you ever, considered moving to another country?
Actually, I used to live in another country.
Oh, wow. Which country?
I lived in Spain, and I spent summers in Italy because my job wasn't the full year. And when I came home from Europe, I was actually living in France, but like working in the summer, the school year camp. But I didn't like it that much, so I came back.
Wow. Okay. And I guess my question, well, you kind of answered it. The next question was going to be like, why? Why did you move to another country? But you're saying it was because of work, right?
Well, it was a goal of mine in life to learn Spanish. I grew up on a block in Brooklyn, and I was like, we had like one other black family on the block. My family's from Jamaica, but everybody on my block was from Latin America, even like the black people. We had a black Honduran family, black Dominican family. And I always just felt left out not knowing Spanish. So as soon as I graduated college, I found a way to go to Spain.
Oh, nice.
And I would say, like, as a black woman living abroad, I did live in Europe, and there's a different type of racism there that that just like surprised that a black woman could even get so far in the world. Like, what are you doing out of your African village? Like, a lot of people thought I was from Africa in Spain. They have such a narrow opinion, or like a narrow view of black people, when it's so crazy because Spain had a part in the slave trade. So what are these people learning about their history in school? Because the Spaniards actually conquered Jamaica before the British and brought slaves there.
That makes sense because the Spanish town and everything. Because my father's Jamaican, so yeah. It makes
Spanish
sense. Some of the names in the city, the territories there, that makes sense. It does.
Spanish
Wow.
town,
Isn't it so funny to
Ocherias.
think about it? Exactly. That's that's Spanish.
Yeah, it was a different type of racism there, but I definitely understand the drive to leave America because that's kind of why I want to leave America. I'm from East New York and Brooklyn, and just being a regular black girl in the US, it kind of sucks. And when you go abroad, you're like a celebrity. So I get it.
Wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. Like the different experiences going like to another. Yeah, that's very interesting. I have to travel more. Care, have you ever considered moving to another country?
I have. I do also have family in Jamaica, so I've traveled to Jamaica to visit them. But I feel like right now, where I am in life specifically, I like building where I am and what I have. But I also do feel like as I get older, I'd love to be immersed in different cultures, because one thing that I realize is there's so many different viewpoints on like even the human body, the beauty standards, what you're supposed to be doing with your life, like mentality and philosophy is different depending on where you are in the world. And I'd love to just be immersed in all of that. So any way I could travel and just be, I would just love to do that. Maybe not live though. I would love to just travel. Let's say, let me give an example of a country that I'd just love to go to. I'd love to just go back to Jamaica. That would be great, just to experience my family members and the culture there and be tapped more into my roots, because I know for sure I've lost contact with a lot of people that are in my family just around the world. So just to be immersed in the culture there, that would be a reason why.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Charlene, have you ever considered moving to another country?
Yes, I have. Especially at the age that I'm at now. I've lived my life. I have traveled just a little bit out of the country. My mother's from Dominica, so I understand the British West Indies and the Caribbean. I probably wouldn't want to live there, but I definitely would love to visit more. But I have considered moving out of the country just because of everything that's going on here. Um, I don't feel safe as a Black woman in America. I really don't. And one of the main jobs that I have in this world, I'm also a resume writer. And so I've had to speak with people all over the world, all different levels, all different industries. And I've spoken to a woman, especially one woman I remember, she was from Ghana. And she said, I was telling her that, oh, I did the 23andMe. And so I know I have, Ghana in my bloodline in Nigeria. And she said, if you can prove that, you have, blood from, the Africa, West Africa, she said, you can get dual citizenship here. And I put it on a sticky note and put it on my mirror because I said, you know what? If I ever have to leave the US, I can go somewhere, say, hey, I belong here according to my DNA. Let me have citizenship.
Wow. Yes, I actually did hear about the dual citizenship opportunity. I did. I have to look into that more, but I actually did hear about that. I found that to be very interesting. Jasmine, have you ever considered moving to another country?
I have at one point in time. My husband's actually from Ghana, so I actually stayed there like for a few weeks one time with his family. I didn't consider myself moving there. I would just want to come with a big impact there because they still have it's a beautiful place to live, but they're still very much affected by colonialism and in a way racism too, to some degree. But it's definitely liberating. I did consider at one point moving to Qatar or Dubai at one point when that was a
Oh,
big
wow.
push, when people were going there for work. I actually was gonna go, but then I chickened out, changed my mind.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Interesting. All right. All right. Tracy, have you ever considered moving to another country?
Absolutely.
All right. And why?
Uh, I haven't done a whole lot of traveling. Having like a different environment and as Carrie was saying, getting immersed in different cultures, that's something that I want to experience. I don't want to just only have, America as my life experience. I do want to travel more, visit more places and get more of a footing of where I actually would move to if I did leave the country. One place in particular that I really fell in love with when I visited was Colombia, and I liked it for a few reasons. One, it was very affordable, and it's really close to home. It's not hard to hop on a plane like from Florida and back up to Georgia. It takes less than a day to get there. So there's a few different perks to that, and also I want for my son. I have a 10-year-old son, and I want him to experience more growing up than I did when I was younger.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And I'll answer too. um, I definitely have considered moving to another country. Um, Honestly, a few years back, I thought about moving to obviously Africa, and I thought about doing the infamous 23andMe, the DNA testing to see, okay, do I have, where am I from exactly, in the in the continent, blah blah blah. I have yet to do the DNA testing, but I have to do that. But to be honest with you, I would say my current pick, if I had to go to another, like if I was moving to another country, it's annoying because they literally recently just had an earthquake, but I would say Japan. And the reason why I would say Japan is just I'm annoyed about the earthquake aspect of it. But when it's not earthquake season, I would choose Japan just because honestly, their healthcare is on point. Their maternal mortality rate is extremely low. It's lower than the United States. Okay. It's very clean. The food is just like the culture is just, I like the culture, the food, everything is just, it's not infused with all these chemicals. I don't know. If I were to move to another country, honestly, I think it would be Japan. I would move this. I would leave the country because obviously some of the things that you ladies were saying already. It's kind of there's just moments where it's a little tiring being a Black woman, to be honest. Just because of, I would say social media has kind of enhanced certain things that are not the most positive. So I would say just kind of just that aspect, and obviously the violence. It's just extremely violent here. Other countries, there's just some countries where they're not as violent. So that's my take on it. So we're gonna move on to the next topic. All right. A Black female firefighter was fired for getting a tattoo.
A former Mobile firefighter thinks the real reason for her termination goes deeper than just the ink on her skin.
WKRG News 5's Shimani Baker spoke exclusively with the firefighter and investigates the department policy that led to her termination. Good morning.
Good morning. Kayana Adams wears her tattoos with pride, just as she used to wear her Mobile Fire Rescue uniform with pride. Adams worked at the Maryville station on Dauphin Island Parkway, but this tattoo changed it all. Adams got this new ink on the back of her head in June of 2022. She believed it followed the fire department's policy, which then prohibited tattoos on the face or neck.
Hiring people before, during, and after me with neck tattoos, more prominent than mine, was kind of also impactful in that as well. You know, I figured mine could be done in decency and order. I could, also based off the rules, I could cover it up.
But that was not the case.
Somebody put in a complaint in regards to my tattoo. And the next thing I knew, I was being investigated for it, and interrogated behind it. And then, they made their decision that I was in violation of the policy.
At that point, Adams says the city gave her the option to grow out her hair to hide the tattoo, which she did. But then, Adams says weeks later another complaint was filed regarding her hair being grown out and not being in compliance with the city's policy. After Adams got her tattoo, the department changed the policy to also prohibit head tattoos above the neckline. On November 10th, a photo was taken by one of the captains at her station of the back of Adams' head. The tattoo was no longer visible. Adams says she was fired the same day the photo was taken.
Definitely blindsided. I never thought that it would come to this, especially considering I was in compliance. I'm not necessarily out here trying to be disobedient. I'm not breaking any laws or anything like that. It's just a tattoo. What's behind me shouldn't affect the work that's in front of me.
In a written statement provided to News 5, Public Safety Director Lawrence Batiste wrote, quote, "I can confirm a former firefighter was terminated earlier this year during their working test period for failing to meet MFRD standards. The working test period is 6 months. Adams says hers was extended by an additional 6 months after she was told her tattoo was not in compliance with the city's policy." When asked whether other currently serving Mobile firefighters had tattoos that violated the department policy, a city spokesperson confirmed to News 5, yes, at least one firefighter has a neck tattoo who's being allowed to cover the tattoo and have it removed. Adams believes there's more to her firing than just her head tattoo.
How else would I was supposed to feel, especially coming to work every day on time, doing exactly what I was supposed to do, trying to go above and beyond, helping out where I can. What else would I could assume?
Adams said she spoke up about things she experienced and observed during her time as a trainee and new firefighter. She says she filed one grievance about the tattoo complaint against her and 2 complaints about what she calls sexist comments by a couple of male firefighters.
Statements in regards to, I don't want to work with women, overhearing stuff like that. It definitely impacts you.
All right, Tracy, in your opinion, was Kayana wrong for getting the tattoo?
I don't think she was wrong for getting the tattoo, especially for like the placement and with how her hair is growing. It's not something that's going to be so distracting from her job. All the equipment that they're wearing, the stuff that they have on their head and on the back of their neck, it's not distracting anybody from the work that she has to do. So no, I don't see it as wrong. I feel like she said, her being a Black woman, that's like 2 strikes. A lot of these people, they don't want to see somebody that's Black in the same position as them, getting the same attention or respect as they are. Then also being a woman, it's probably like taxing on their manhood. They're like, wow, this Black woman can do all the same stuff as me. Like it's probably making them question themselves, like, well, how am I so great? I don't know. I feel like that's part of where it's coming from, and that's why she was getting those comments like, I don't feel comfortable with you here. It's a them problem, not a her problem. She sounds like she's got a good head on her shoulders, and she's not, it's nothing offensive. It's not, these guys, the ones she's probably talking, they might have swastikas and all kinds of other weird stuff on their body that's related to, white pride or something. We've seen that with police officers and firefighters and some of these incidents that are coming up. People saying, oh yeah, I used to leave Black people and burning buildings and all that. Like, stuff is coming out that we know about these type of people. So when we have somebody like this, a pillar of our community that's out there saving lives, why are you worried about a little tattoo on the back of her head? Like she said, there's other layers to this. So no, I don't see a problem with it at all. It's nice. It's fine.
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. Jasmine, I'm going to ask you the same question. In your opinion, was Kayana wrong for getting the tattoo?
I don't think she was wrong at all. And I think the proof is kind of in a pudding. The fact that they changed the policy after she got it is pretty telling that they already had, it's deeper than her getting the tattoo. They changed the policy. They asked her to grow her hair out, which she did, despite of, it's kind of obvious. I don't know how they could really, I mean, I know they're going to deny it, but she wasn't wrong. I mean, it's obvious that they didn't like it. They didn't like her. The fact that they kept changing things along the way and ultimately firing her is very telling to their position about the tattoo was just an excuse, in my opinion.
Charlene, was Kayana wrong for getting the tattoo?
Absolutely not. I see that she already had multiple tattoos and they weren't complaining about those. My question is always, okay, who complained? Like, seriously. And why? They didn't complain like everybody else is saying. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't a vulgar tattoo. It wasn't a picture of anything crazy. She's Black. She's a woman. And it said that she was gay also. So she's got 3 strikes against her. So it's not just because she got a tattoo. She kept saying, I was trying to be in compliance. I didn't get it on my face. I didn't get it on my neck. It's on the back of her head. Like we're saying, nobody can see it. If I'm in a burning building, I don't care what kind of tattoos, what kind of piercings. I don't care what color, what gender. Come save me. That's the most important thing. So like I said, it was an excuse. They wanted her out. She was in compliance. She grew out her hair. And so they fired her the same day that they took that picture showing it's not even, visible anymore. And then they changed the rules again. So obviously, it's not just about her tattoo.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Care, was Kayana wrong for getting the tattoo?
I do not believe that Kiana was wrong. It just sheds light, of course, like what everyone has been saying so far. It just sheds light more so on the cruelty of where she worked and like the people around her. They're focused on the wrong things. Like the integrity of the heart is what really matters. You're a firefighter. You didn't do this to save lives. Not only are you one firefighter down, like you can't do what your heart is set out to do anymore just because other people care about what you look like. It's not what's supposed to be focused on, as rather what's really the job that's supposed to be done. Because now they have one, and I bet that she's a great fighter, and now they're down a great person. So it really just sheds light on the community that did that to her and the people that aren't fighting for her, and shows that nobody's really standing up. But the people that she's actually around now, I believe, were standing up for her and doing what they need to do. And now she's in a good light, showing that this is what happens to us when we decide to do what we want. Yet, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm getting really
okay. Thank you, Karen. Thea, was Kayana wrong for getting the tattoo?
I don't think she was wrong. Like, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I agree with everyone else. And it just it's really striking that the person who set this decision down, I noticed he was a Black man. So it's also that thing that Tracy was talking about masculinity and seeing a queer woman, I feel men are very threatened by that. A woman I can't have, a woman who won't laugh at my jokes, you know, like they're not going to go along with dumb flirting that a lot of us straight women will just go along with just to make them feel better and get them off our backs. You know, like I'll laugh at your stupid joke. Maybe a lesbian lady wouldn't do that. So I think that there's an added layer of respectability politics of what is a female supposed to be doing, how a female should behave, how a female should look, and she just shatters all that, and they can't deal with her because they're too small-minded.
Yeah, I love some of the points you made. Yeah, it's like because she's not falling in line. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Have you ever experienced harassment at a job because of your race or gender? And I'll start with you, Afia.
Well, I have experienced like straight up sexual harassment, but I can't say that I've experienced harassment like specifically, but I have experienced microaggressions, you know, and it comes up all the time. Like, no one can seem to forget I'm Black. Like, I wake up Black every day, but for some reason, it's surprising to people. So that is an issue in the workplace.
Care, I'll go to you. Have you ever experienced harassment at a job because of your race or gender?
So fortunately, I teach at a dance studio, and in the dance studio there we are so accepting of so like just being who you are fully, and no matter what you look like, it's just about dance and about the art of it. So not me personally, but I have so many friends in restaurant jobs and corporate and even teachers like school teachers. They've told me about all the stories that they've experienced, and it's just honestly very just despicable. How can someone do something to someone else and think that they can get away with it when you're there to do the same thing and just play these games that really aren't funny? Yeah, so I've heard of stories, but I have not personally myself experienced.
Thank you, Care. All right. I will go to Charlene. Same question for you. Have you ever experienced harassment at a job because of your race or gender?
I have not been harassed because of my race or gender, but I've definitely been annoyed because of my race, because of my hair. I didn't have locks when I was in corporate America, but I had natural hair. I had cute little short afro, and I came to work one day with long braids. And my intelligent, master degree having boss thought that that was the real length of my hair stretched out from my little afro. So that's what I have dealt with, just annoyance, just silly comments like, oh, you just had, like, I had my baby and I was at a job, it was all women, and two other women had had their babies. Nobody ran to the hospital to see their babies. But when I had my baby, they all showed up at the hospital. They wanted to see this brown baby so they could tell all their friends, oh, I know what the brown babies look like when they come out. They want to touch your hair. They want to touch your kid's hair. It's annoyance, not harassment that I have dealt with.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you. Jasmine, have you ever experienced harassment at a job because of your race or gender?
Not harassment, similarly to what everyone else has said, the microaggressions. I've been asked about my hair, changing it up. And my manager actually wanted to touch it one time. She said it was so beautiful and she wanted to touch it. Whatever. And then I did have an experience when I was in management one time with a gentleman and just having a difficult time with my age, being his manager, and just a little undercutting. But that's about it. Annoyed, like Charlene said.
Thank you, Jasmine. Tracy, have you ever experienced harassment at a job because of your race or gender?
It's similar to what a couple of the other ladies shared. It wasn't necessarily harassment. I feel like it's more ignorance than like straight up like any type of hate. I had a manager at a job for a real estate company in Vegas. I was an assistant. And when I started growing out my locks, started my natural hair journey, my manager's like, why did you do that? Why did you change your hair like that? What is this about? And he was genuinely like kind of upset about it. I'm like, he didn't want to say it outright. I was like, oh, you liked it when it was like more like white? And he's like, yeah. And
Wow.
like
He
to
just
me,
admitted it. Wow.
he said, yeah. He's like, yes. He was like, to me, the locks, to me on Black people, it's kind of like gays in their rainbows, and they're putting it all over their car and their clothes and everything. It's like, okay, we get it, you're gay. You don't have to like rub it in everybody's faces. He felt like me growing my locks was rubbing my Blackness in people's faces. He felt like that's why Black people did it, was to try to put an extra layer of Blackness on their Blackness, just to make other people uncomfortable. That's how he felt. And I get it. Like the other lady say, hey, that's not harassment. It's kind of harassment. I mean, the annoyance. It's this little icing layer of harassment mixed in there, because we definitely have to carry that and deal with it, especially in the workplace. We're around these people like every day, and like you said, the microaggressions, it's like it kind of piles up, and in a way it is a little bit harassment. You're sharing those type of, you know, opinions and feelings about stuff like that. I'm like, what if I was gay? He doesn't know me like that. Come on. But kind of what Kara was saying about people that she knows that have had to deal with things and not understanding how people feel like they can do that. They feel emboldened to do that. They haven't faced consequences for treating people that way and sharing things like that. So that's why they don't they never, in their environment, that's not something that they had to really think about or care about, because it doesn't happen to them.
Definitely. So yeah, I'll answer last. Let's see. Have I ever experienced harassment at a job because of my race or gender? I'm gonna have to, again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I have to agree with you, ladies. A lot of it, it's definitely hashtag microaggressions. Like, there was one job, I'll be very brief. I was at a job and I, how do I explain it? I was at a job, it was in the warehouse section, and there would be a woman that would come in like once a week. So I guess she was in accounting. She would come down to our area once a week, I guess, to get paperwork from us or whatever. And she would always put her bag down, like in our seating, like in this little seating area where we would have lunch or whatever, right? And obviously, I had my things in that area too because it was a general area. And one day I started to notice that every time I would be near that area, whether I was drinking water or grabbing some work supplies, she would kind of just she would either kind of just go to her bag and kind of just touch it, or she would kind of just look at it. I've been around all different races of people. You know, our religion, we were pretty, you know, I was used to being around different races of people or whatever. So, and this is when I was younger. So I was just kind of taken aback that she kept acting like I was trying to take her stuff because I was used to being around different groups of people. But then it hit me that some people outside of work, they're not used to being around people that don't look like them, you know? So that's only one example. I would say other examples I would say is more of, I've had jobs where it was more of sexual harassment, like, you know, just obviously just some guys just being annoying pigs and just saying things that are inappropriate. So I would say microaggressions aspects of it. I would say I have, like you said, it kind of is harassment, but it's like, it's subtle. They're not going to write out say, "Oh, hey, you Black person." Like they're not going to do that. But it's a lot of microaggression. And then again, I have experienced like definitely sexual harassment with comments that people have made to me at work and stuff like that. But that would just be my experience. I'll say this to anyone watching, because I just say if you're going through this at your workplace, please say something to HR. Because when I was younger, I used to be afraid of saying something to HR because I don't want to lose my job. And I knew that someone in HR was cool with the person that was messing with me. But I'm like, you know what? Oh, well, because if HR doesn't do anything about it, then guess what? I'm going to a lawyer and I don't care. And I'll put hopefully I can find a contingency lawyer. But if I can't, I'll have to figure it out. But I've just learned, don't let people treat you any type of way, because when you leave that job, the next Black woman that comes in there, they're going to feel that they can treat her like that too. So that's all I have to say to anybody watching. Please say something, because those people are going to keep acting a fool unless you say something. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, moving on. Thank you, ladies, for your responses. Thank you. The next topic and last topic K.Michelle recently shared her thoughts on interracial dating.
I don't know what I'm doing, Fred, because I'm not with none of it.
But what you are with, though, friend, you did say that you love you some white men.
I love me a white man.
And I gotta know, like,
I love a white man.
I ain't never had a white man.
Well,
so
you
what
need
is
to
it
try
like?
it out. You need to try it out.
What's your experience?
Let me tell you this. And people are going to be so angry with me in this sentiment, and I don't give a f. I will be your problem. I'll be your problem. The thing is, love who loves you. It doesn't matter their race, color, or whatever. I see so many black women that come up to me heartbroken, and they won't date anybody. They have to date a black man. They have to. I get it. But what about just dating a man or dating a woman that loves you?
Tracy, all right, Tracy, we're gonna get into your business a little bit. Let's see if you answer. All right. Have you ever dated outside of your race or community?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And you know what? It's for me, I think honestly it's just a natural preference. I feel like I haven't been conditioned to like the things that I like. I prefer black men. I even prefer darker skinned black men over that's just how I've always been. And I don't know where it came from. So I can't relate to dating outside of my race, but I at times I get it. There's a lady, her name is Fumi. She's a YouTuber, she's a fashionista, a model entrepreneur. She has a white husband, and she said that she tried to date black men for like 2 decades, and she wanted a child, and she finally found this white man that loved her deeply, and she's very happy with him. But he knows that her preference is black men. So I get it for some women, if they've not had the luck with dating black men and their biological clock may be ticking, they want to have a child, and they find somebody that checks off enough boxes and they're attracted to enough to them to make it work. I can't knock them for that. I mean, people are people, humans are humans. We're supposed to be together, and if that's what it takes, then I'm not judging. Because like I said, I can't relate, so I'm not gonna knock anybody else for their, relationship choices.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. All right. Jasmine, same question to you. Have you ever dated outside of your race or community?
I've never dated outside of my race, obviously outside of my culture, but not outside of my race. I'm kind of like Tracy. My husband's dark skinned. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just a preference. I don't know what it is, but I don't see anything wrong with it. That's what you choose. I feel like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can block out all the outside noise, but when it comes down to the rubber meeting the road, it's what works for you two. People are going to say things regardless. I mean, people had things to say about my husband and I. So it's really just, if it works for you, you just have to learn to block out the outside noise, because it can impact your relationship. I do know that. But if she likes it, I love it.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Charlene, same question to you. Have you ever dated outside of your race or community?
Yes, I have, when I was very, very young. So many, many decades ago. And I always felt not good about it. I always felt uneasy about it, to be out in public with them. I'd never felt comfortable. I'm like everybody else so far. I prefer chocolate. That's just me. But I feel like love is love. My son-in-law is white. As long as he loves my daughter, as long as he takes care of my grandkids, I don't care what color he is. And I'm not ever going to say, you shouldn't have married that white man, or tell somebody else you shouldn't marry this person or marry that person. I have a lot of friends, black women, who white men are just attracted to them. So that's just who they date. They're successful. They say some black men are are, intimidated by a strong Black woman or a Black woman who makes a lot of money or something like that. And so there's just some Black women that are, white men are attracted to them or Hispanic men are attracted to them. I really don't care right now. I want love, and whatever shade that love comes in, I will receive it.
Thank you, Charlene. Care, have you ever dated outside of your race or community?
I'm gonna say no because I also just don't date. So I don't go on dates. I just don't. But for people that do, I think that is respectfully none of anyone else's business because they're not paying any rent. They're not paying for the meals. They're not paying for couples therapy. Like they're not putting anything other than their 2 cents into a relationship that has nothing to do with them. So do what you want. That is my that is my philosophy.
Okay, thank you, Care. And Afia, have you ever dated outside of your race or community?
Actually, all my serious relationships have been with people outside my community. I've never had a serious relationship with a Black guy. But I've wondered about why. And it probably is childhood trauma because, I'm from a mixed family. So I'm not even straight up Black to begin with. My mom is actually part Indian. She's mostly Indian. She's more Indian than she is Black. So my sisters and I, we have different textures hair, and I just experienced a lot of colorism. And why are you the ugly sister? Until I got to high school and I was with a larger group of people from all over the world, all over Brooklyn. And all these white guys saw me and they're like, you're beautiful. But the guys back in my neighborhood didn't really care. So I think that's why I, even in adulthood, it's been kind of hard. Also, I'm not religious. I'm not Christian at all. I'm not going to church. And that turns you off from a lot of Black men also because being an African American or even of the African diaspora, it's very assumed that you're a Christian, but I'm not a Christian. And, so I like dating outside my race because I'm breaking barriers with someone else who doesn't care about what other people think, and we're creating our own culture and our own ideology. And if that guy was okay, I would have married him, but he was kind of crazy.
Okay. Thank you, Afia, and thank you, ladies. So I enjoyed speaking with you, ladies, and I look forward to meeting up again. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to join our next conversation.